Hello, dear students. Welcome to Thahseen ma'am's science class. Today we are dealing with the second chapter of grade 8 science, which goes by the title Microorganisms, Friend and Foe. So here we begin. You might have already heard of the term microorganism, right? Have you ever wondered what are they? Come on, let's find it out. The term micro means small and organism means any life form. It can be a plant, it can be an animal, it can even be any single celled life form. Hence, we arrive at the conclusion that a microorganism is nothing but a teeny tiny life form. Being so very tiny makes them invisible to our naked eyes, and hence we make use of a microscope to view it. The terms microorganisms and microbes are often used interchangeably, so dear students, never get confused over it. As you now know what are microorganisms, the next question that might pop up in your mind now would be, where do they live? Or where do we find these microorganisms? The answer to this question is straight and simple. Everywhere. We find them literally everywhere. Even inside the human body, we do find microorganisms. They can survive in all types of environment, ranging from ice cold climate to hot springs and deserts to marshy lands. Some of these microbes may live alone, while some others live in colonies. Not all the microbes show the same characteristics. They do differ from each other. So now let's look on to the classification of microorganisms. Microbes are classified into 5 major groups. These are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, algae, and virus. Since each one of these groups shows specific characteristics, let's now study each one in detail. So dear students, first up, let's discuss bacteria. Bacteria are simple living organisms which are mostly unicellular. The term unicellular refers to those organisms which possess only a single cell. Even though unicellular in nature, most of the bacteria are found living in colonies of millions. Bacteria are usually found in different shapes. The important ones are bacillus, rod-shaped, coccus, round-shaped, spirilla, spiral-shaped. It's even found in coma shape, which is known by the name Vibrio. Let's now learn about fungi. Fungi are plant-like organisms but aren't actual plants. Since the chlorophyll pigment is found to be absent in fungi, they aren't autotrophic in nature. That is, they cannot produce their own food. Hence, they depend upon other organisms for their food. Fungi are mostly found to be saprotrophic or parasitic in nature. In addition to this, a fungi may be either unicellular or multicellular. Some common examples for fungi are mushroom, yeast, and mold. They are mostly found to thrive the best in moist and warm places. Hence, they choose such places as their habitat. Up next, let's discuss protozoa. Protozoa are single-celled, that is unicellular microscopic organisms which are mostly aquatic. They are very similar to animals in the fact that they move about to capture food, and so they are heterotrophic in nature. Some very common examples for protozoa include amoeba and paramecium. We have now learned about bacteria, fungi, and protozoa. Let's now look into algae. Algae are simple plant-like organisms which are mostly aquatic in nature, which means they are mostly found in water. Algae contain chlorophyll pigment in them, and yes, you guessed it right, they prepare their own food. They are autotrophs just like plants. Apart from this, algae lives in colonies. They never live alone. Some of the most common type of algae are found over the water bodies as slimy green patches. Spirogyra, diatoms, and seaweed are some of the common examples for algae. The last category of microorganisms are the viruses. Viruses differ from other microorganisms in many aspects. One of the most important factors for this is that a virus can reproduce only inside a host organism. They are smaller than any non-cell, and that is why we require a powerful electron microscope to view a virus. One of the most interesting features of a virus is that it lies between the borderline of living and non-living. This simply means outside the host body, the virus pretends as if it does not exist, and inside the host body, it takes out its full might. And this is the reason, dear children, many of the known diseases to humankind are caused by viruses alone. Flu, cold, polio, chickenpox, and the ongoing global pandemic COVID-19 are some of the diseases caused by the viruses. And yay, that's all for the classification of microbes. Stay tuned for our next video on useful and harmful microbes. Thank you for watching.